what are some of the urgent matters that need to be addressed when it comes to food, one of the most basic necessities?
There are three drivers that are affecting food insecurity: climate, conflicts, and slowdowns on downturns. We know that because we already have trespassed 6 of the 9 planetary boundaries, that the frequency and the in-depth of the climate events will increase. We also know that many economies of the most vulnerable countries are facing significant challenges of debt stress, and they have to pay significant amount of their resources in interest because of the debt that they have. And the exchange rates of these countries have also devaluated enormously because of what is happening in the world in terms of global inflation and increase of global interest rates. This makes them more vulnerable because they don't have liquidity to pay and to buy the food import bill. So those things need to change, and need to change abruptly right now to be able to create a transformation. That's where we see an opportunity with the Global Alliance. I think the important thing is to have good food for all for today and tomorrow. And that's the sustainability part. And that's where we need to find ways in which we can produce more with less, be more efficient to supply what we need today, the right of food, but also to be more sustainable through just transition so that we can gain efficiencies and redistribute better food so that people can have food for tomorrow also.
And of course, we are here in Brazil. Brazil has suffered some major climate events this past year, some massive flooding in areas. And then we also had this unrelenting drought. What are some of the strategies that have been discussed to help not just Brazil, but other countries deal with the impacts of that?
We know climate won't have borders. Climate won't matter if you are rich or poor. We have seen it in Brazil, we have seen it in Spain, we have seen it in the US, we have seen it in the Africa. So we need to create resilience. For the countries that have resources, like developed countries, high-income countries, they have more capacity for that. They have more capacity of resilience. But the vulnerable countries is the ones that we need to support to increase the resilience. And the way to increase resilience has two components. The first one is we need to prevent. And those are early warning systems, One Health approach, and insurance, catastrophic insurance. But the second component is how we can absorb the shock if the shock happens, because the shock will happen. And that is where social protection will play a crucial role, school feeding programs, things that can target the most vulnerable, but also productive projects. We need to prioritize investments and ensure that we have trade. Because if I only produce from me in my country, I will be affected by a climate shock, then what I do? So trade will be central to increase the resilience. We need to combine both trade openness plus production locally so that we can increase resilience of country.
Given the amount of geopolitical tensions around the world and the ever-changing nature of who's at the top at the time, are you optimistic from these meetings here at the G20?
So we are optimistic because for us and for FAO, and that's why FAO is working so hard in the Global Alliance, we believe that this government, the G20 of Brazil and President Lula especially, has created a political momentum. And the G20 countries are pushing for that. So that's a huge opportunity. But the Global Alliance has 3 pillars: knowledge, the policy basket, financing, and the action at the country level. We are sure that the policy basket will work because we are working on it. We know that there is evidence. We are ready to act at the country level, but if the financing pillar doesn't achieve its goal of coordination, complementarities, and put a clear commitment to coordinate financing, this will be very difficult. So we hope these 3 pillars really come to reality.